Lesson 3, Unit 3. Work assignments. This is the process of delegating and assigning work to the project team. There are 4 tools that will help you in this process: the team calendars, the racing matrix, work assignment sheets, and the resource allocation charts. You start this process once your team is ready, all plans are approved, and you're ready to start the implementation phase. To start this process, you will need to gather some basic information to make sure the assignment of project work is complete and reflects the current capabilities of the team. The first information you need comes from the team calendars. This is information that each team member completes to identify the days they will take as vacation, training, and other activities where they will not be available. Each one of your team members must complete this information and select the dates when they are going to be taking vacations or they are not going to be available to work on the project. Another good use of this team calendar is that it helps you identify and make sure that not all your team will be taking vacations or time off at the same time or during a critical time in the project. If there are problems, you can negotiate with the team to reschedule their vacation or time off days to make sure that they are not missing the whole team during a critical moment. The second tool that you can use is the racing matrix. This tool is usually completed during the planning phase of the project, but during implementation, you need to review it and make sure that all activities have a person assigned as responsible. This also is a good time to evaluate if the team members assigned with the responsibilities have the skills and capacity to perform those duties. You might need to come back to this tool many times after you complete the process to assign work to team members, especially if you find that some team members have been over-allocated or are under-allocated. When the matrix is updated and complete, you will need to go to the next step, the work assignment. The next tool is the work assignment sheet. This is a simple document that describes in more detail the work that you have assigned to a team member. This example includes information on the project name, the activity, the WS code, and the name of the activity. Then there is a detailed description of the activity. This information comes from the WS dictionary. The next fields are for including the name of the person assigned to work on the activity, the unit or departments the person belongs to, the date the work was assigned, the date the activity needs to be completed, and the estimated cost and the resources assigned to the activity. Information on the acceptance criteria and the name of the person that will review or approve the completion of the activity. The description of the outputs of the activity and any assumptions that are necessary to complete this work. For each one of the WS activities, you need a document that has a complete description of what the activity is about. Depending on the level of complexity or risk in your project, the amount of information can vary. If you know that this is a complex activity, then you will need a detailed description. If it is something simple that doesn't require a lot of instructions and the person that is going to be assigned that work has experience, then the amount of information can be much simpler. The use of a work assignment sheet is to ensure that there is a clear understanding of what is required to complete the activity and the team members can follow the instructions. When you're assigning work to your team, you have to take into consideration the time your team will be busy with meetings, trainings, collaborating with teammates, or any other assignments. You cannot assign someone 100% of their time to work on the project activities. Usually, all these extra activities can go as high as 20% of their time working on a project. That means that out of the 8 hours that you have in a day, only 6 hours can be dedicated to actually working on the project activities that you're assigning to the team. 6 hours per day equals 30 hours per week, or about 120 hours per month that are available for a team member to work on project-specific activities. While you're assigning work to your team, usually for a cycle, you need to consider how much work you're assigning to your team. One of the tools that you use is the resource calendar chart. For each individual in your team, you can identify all the work that they have been assigned based on the estimated duration of each activity. And for each month, you can see the total hours of work assigned. In the review of the information, you are going to see that some team members have been assigned more work than they can do in a month. It is important that you don't over-allocate or under-allocate work to your team members. If the total time available for a project work is about 120 hours per month, and you see that some team members have been assigned too many tasks, for example, 200 hours per month, then you have a problem. It is not possible that the person can do that amount of work in that amount of time, and maybe you need to assign someone else a couple of activities and split that job, or maybe review some of the estimates that were made in the schedule. Overallocation is when a resource is assigned to work full-time or more than one task at some time. For example, if you assign a resource 2 tasks of 8 hours each on the same day, then the resource is over-allocated because only one 8-hour task can be accomplished on that day. When you assign your teams to do more work that they can do, the result is going to be poor quality in the outputs, delays, and cost overruns. As a result, you will have problems with motivation, people overwork, and dissatisfactions with their job. Make sure that you identify the limit and that nobody is beyond that limit or even below that limit. Underallocation can also be a problem, which happens when team resources are not fully utilized or assigned less work than the rest of the team. That type of situation can have an impact on the levels of team trust and collaboration.